What's up, y'all? Jim here, Get Better with Books, and today we're gonna be talking about the 7 mistakes that all readers make and the simple ways that you can avoid them. So if you're someone who reads a lot of these self-help and personal development type books, or even if you're just new to this genre and you're looking to get more out of the stuff that you read, this is the video for you. So if you're new to the channel and you're interested in ways that you can level up your life by reading the best books out there today, go ahead and subscribe to my channel so you can get videos just like this. Oh yeah, by the way, hit that thumbs up button. Thank you. All right, let's get right into it. So the first mistake on this list is forcing yourself to finish books that you are not enjoying. So this is probably the most common mistake that people make, and it's honestly something that I still struggle with on a day-to-day basis. Like, you go out there and you buy a bunch of books, you come across a few that you're really excited for, you finally get to them 2 or 3 chapters in, and you're just like, eh. Like, part of you is still holding out hope. Like, the next chapter, it's going to get better. I promise. Give it 20 more pages. And before you know it, you're reading the book just to finish it rather than reading it because you enjoy it. So here's the truth. Reading obviously takes a lot of time. It takes focus, it takes concentration, but it also takes a certain investment in your free time. So if the book that you're reading is starting to feel like a chore, odds are you're probably not going to enjoy it. So don't be afraid to put the book down and start something new. Like, you wouldn't force yourself to finish watching a 2-hour Netflix movie if you weren't into the first half hour. Reading a book shouldn't be any different. Number 2 mistake on this list is focusing too much on the amount of books that you're reading. Now, this is the biggest change that I've made to my reading process this past year, and it's something that you see very frequently in the Bookstagram community on Instagram, where people sometimes focus more on the amount of books that you read as opposed to why you're reading them in the first place. Oh yeah? You read books too? Yeah, how many did you read? 50? Yeah, not bad. So here's the thing, having a book goal is a useful strategy. Like, having a number to strive towards will help you keep motivated for that reading habit. But don't let the number of books that you finish be more important than why you're reading them in the first place. I mean, at the end of the day, it's really about the quality over the quantity. Like, I would rather read 5 books and spend the extra time to really ingrain the lessons and the ideas and the concepts, as opposed to breezing through 100 books without really remembering anything, but just to say that I read them. Number 3 mistake on this list is assuming the information that you read is 100% correct. So when I first got into reading these self-help and personal development books, I would often take the information in the books as gospel. I was at a point in time in my life where I was just looking for some direction, and anything at that point was better than what I was doing. But the more that I started to read these self-help and personal development type books, the more often I started to find myself saying, yeah, I don't know if I agree with that. And eventually I got to the point where I started to see the situation for what it was, is that these books were essentially just the opinions of the authors and not an absolute truth. Now, there are certainly a ton of books out there that are very convincing, very logical in terms of the information that they're presenting. For example, Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life. But there are way too many other self-help books out there that just make so many baseless claims and audacious statements really without any modicum of fact. So this is your reminder to be very mindful about the information that you're gathering. It's awesome to be open-minded, but it's also very important to be very critical and question everything that you're reading. Number 4 mistake on this list is getting caught up in the self-help cycle. In my opinion, this is one of the biggest downsides when it comes to these self-help type books. And it's almost because you can convince yourself that by simply reading about ways to improve yourself is in and itself improving yourself without actually improving yourself. Okay, let me explain this. You can get caught up in the cycle of self-help type books where all you do is imagine the idea of your best self without actually making it a reality. Some people call this mental masturbation, where just thinking about the idea of your best self sometimes feels just as good as obtaining that best self status. The problem is, rather than taking what you've learned from each book and actually applying it to your your life, you simply just pick up another self-help book and you get caught up in this web of ways that you want to improve yourself without actually doing it. And the best way to overcome this is to actually map out what your ideal outcome would be. What are you trying to gain from reading this book? What is a concrete takeaway that you can apply immediately, and then do that all before you open up another book that's going to give you 21 ways to optimize your morning routine. Give yourself the time to actually think and implement the ideas that you're learning from these books before you get lost in the sauce of the next self-help type book. The number 5 mistake that all readers make is not taking notes. Okay, to be fair, not every type of book that you read requires you to take notes. Like if you're underlining stuff and taking notes while you're reading American Psycho, we may have deeper issues to discuss here. But if you're reading a book like Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss or Influence by Robert Cialdini, these books are heavily informational based. And taking notes is going to help you retain or remember that information for much longer. Like the goal of reading these self-help books is to take the material and actually have it make some sort of material impact on your life. And taking notes will actually have a noticeable impact on the things that you actually remember. And if you're looking for ways to help you remember more of what you read, I actually made a video about that a couple weeks ago that you can check out right here. Number 6 mistake on this list is not veering from your comfort zone. So thinking back on my personal experience, some of my favorite books have been titles that are really off the beaten path when it comes to the more traditional self-help and personal development books that I often read. So if you have a certain niche or a certain genre that you gravitate towards, it's never a bad idea to step out of your comfort zone and read something completely new. Like mix in a novel here and there. Try some historical fiction, maybe a little 50 Shades of Grey. But reading from genres that are outside of your comfort zone will make you more well-rounded. It can help keep your reading habit fresh, but it can also surprise you in a way that you actually might like. And last but not least on this list, number 7 mistake that all readers make is forgetting why that you're reading in the first place. So everyone has their own reasons for why they read, whether it's for leisure, whether it's for relaxation, or if it's for more self-improvement, personal development. It's important to constantly remind yourself why you're reading these books in the first place. Because it's so easy to get bogged down in reading goals and how many pages that you're reading every day to make sure that you're on track. Sometimes it just starts to feel like a chore. And back to the point earlier about focusing too much on the amount of books that you're reading instead of the content that you're getting from the book, more often than not, that type of strategy just takes the enjoyment out of reading in the first place. Reading should be an enjoyable activity that can teach you something that will improve your life. So don't put too much pressure to finish that book on time. Or don't be too hard on yourself if you're struggling to focus or concentrate on a specific chapter. As long as you're trying, as long as you're putting in the effort, you'll be in a better position than if you weren't. It's just those little wins, they all add up. So that's all I got for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, do me a big old favor and hit that big old thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below if you learned anything from this video. I'll be sure to meet you down there. This is Jim from Get Better with Books signing out. I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.